Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday, June 9th, and today is the Monday recap, where we basically go through and see where we stand for the various YieldMax funds, TSLY, CONY, NVDY, MSTY, SMCY, and PLTY. But first, before we do that, let's just take a look at the pre-market, see what's going on with the various funds and their underlying. Tesla is down. It looks like everything is green except Tesla. But Tesla is down 2.76%. TSLY is following. It's down 2.61%. FYI, this is as of 5:22 a.m., running later than usual, but whatever. Nvidia is up 0.47%. NVDY is up 0.5%. Coin is up 1.12%. CONY heads, you're up 1.27%. MSTR, you are up 1.18%. MSTY is up 1.12%. T to the S to the L to the L. Again, this is the double leverage ETF of Tesla. Of course, it's down as well. It's down 5.52%. TNA is up 2.32%, 32.66. Bitcoin is, that's right, down. It's down 0.38%. It's all good. BitX is somehow up, whatever, 3.01%. Saxo is up 1.3%. SMCY is up 0.82%. SMCY is up 0.21%. Palantir is down 1.47%. PLTY is down 0.78%. UPRO is up barely 0.24%, and TQQQ, oh, it's actually down 0.12%. So yeah, I guess not everything is really up, but whatever. Again, this is as of 5:23 a.m. A lot can change. All right, so let's get to the trades, see where we stand. And yes, by the way, I will cover my options trades for the week. Well, what's in upcoming for the week. First, we'll start with MSTY. See where we stand with MSTY. Obviously, we talked about where they closed out their trades on the Saturday morning video. But, you know, currently they have three. Is it three? Yes, three synthetics. They have a 390. This one expires June 20th, so that's upcoming very soon, 12 days away. MSTR sits at 374, so they're about 4% under that. You know, the idea is best case scenario, hopefully we go land above that strike price of 390 by the expiration. That way, when they close out this position, it could turn into some type of profit, which maybe they'll pay us extra on the distribution. You know, we'll see. The other synthetics, they expire a little further out, July 18th. They're both 370 though. I'm sorry, no, they're both 370, but one expires July 18th and the other expires July 11th. So 33 and 40 days away. They're both in a good spot because, again, MSTR is at 374, which is $4 above. So all good. It's all good. All right, so here's the weeklies tab. Not much to cover here, but obviously if I zoom out a little, you can kind of see like the number of trades that are open. Yeah, it's a little crazy, as you can see. So what I do, in case you're new to the channel, I log the trades as they come in. And yes, I do it manually. I don't automate. I know there's AI, there's this, there's that, and the other thing. And, you know, it's just, I always said from day one, when you automate things, you kind of lose touch, right? You lose the feeling. You lose, you know, the relatability of what's actually happening. So that is why number one, I don't know how to automate it. Number two, I need to know what's going on. So when they close an individual trade, if I see something unusual, I'd like to talk about it in the next video. But yeah, it sucks. I mean, sometimes it sucks more than other days, but Monday's usually not bad. We'll see how today goes. But either way, I'm showing you this because I'm trying to get the sympathy like here. So that being said, if you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. All right, sound good? All right, anyway, move on. The IV for this morning, it's not updated, but it showed 53%, just so you know. So it's continuing to drop, which unfortunately sucks. All right, recap on this page. MSTY current price 20.59. This is as of the close on Friday though. MSTR is at 374.47. Again, yeah, 30-day EV's not loading. Outstanding. What the hell's going on? Outstanding shares not even loading. I may have to refresh. Hold on. Yeah, what's going on, man? Not cool, bruh. There you go. They're up. All right. No, they're not. What the frick is going on, man? You see that? It comes and it goes. Let me try that again. Yeah, that's a problem. That is a problem. All right, so what we're gonna do? Watch this. Quick refresh. Boom. Get back. All right, lowest strike price for MSTY 385. Right? How far out of the money was that? I don't freaking know. We got to refresh it again because Google Sheets sucking today. 2.81% out of money. All right, so again, that's the lowest strike of 385. The highest strike, 405. All right, so not much wiggle room this week for MSTY and their calls. So to be honest, MSTR, the IV is super low, so they can't really go that far out of the money and, print us a respectable premium amount here. So it's gonna be a rough one. But we'll see how it all plays out. Let me head back to the weeklies. Again, the total income, though, so far is 44.9 mil. Distribution can't update because obviously the outstanding shares did not update. Although I guess we could just do what we did before. And it's just stupid, but, annualize that 50%. All right, so the overall annualized yield so far is 50%. Sucker! Yeah. Again, is what it is. You got to make do with what you got, right? Anyway, we covered all this already, but basically, if you're new to the channel, this tab, it covers the various MSTR funds. So far, who do we have? Well, obviously, we have MSTR, we have MSTY, we have Winter, we have IMST, MST, and MS2. I believe MSTW is going to be a new fund coming out, so I have no idea when that will launch. I think that's a Round Hill fund, but, I'm sure you guys will let me know, hopefully. Reaction, the market was kind of dumping last week because these two were fighting on social media. So now the market's pretty much okay, but Tesla's not. So I don't know. But we'll see what happens if they make up, if they don't, if it's if they plan that. Who the heck knows what's going on? But two powerful, egos right there going at it. I guess we'll let them do their thing and we'll see what happens. Anyway, Group D for MSTY declares in 23 days on July 2nd. All right. Payment information. So far, our synthetic is not really making bank, bruh. In fact, it's a loss of 228 mil. We talked about the weekly income. That's about 44.9 mil. How much per share? Unfortunately, again, that's dependent on the outstanding share count, which is not updating due to Google Sheets being mean. But I guess we could do a quick click-a-rooney here, and we're showing, yes, 20 cents per share. Rotomator says 86 cents. Based on that, if you cared. All right, MSTR Holdings, well, we already know what the situation is here, so we can't really talk about that. Again, this does happen on occasion. Google Sheets is a free app, though. Yeah, so, but what the hell? I hope my other freaking funds are gonna work. All right, MS2 works. This is freaking whack, man. All right. So IMST is not updating. MSTY Holdings not updating, and MST Holdings not updated. MS2 Holdings is updating, and I'm wondering because the way we pull MS2 is a little different than how we pull the others. So let's take a look at MS2. This is the newer fund. This is the Rec Shares fund. So what they do is they don't own the underlying, similar to YieldMax. They do a synthetic position, and they track the exposure to MSTR through that synthetic position, the buy call and the sell put, as you can see in the orange, 16 contracts. Now, what they do that's different from MSTY is they sell calls on 50% of the contracts. So you can see that's 8 contracts they're selling calls on, and that is currently their strike is 5.53% out of the money. So yeah, so far so good. We'll see how it goes though. Again, we're going to compare day to day and see how these funds compare against one another. All right, we have a video question up. This is from Bob Stevens, 5494. MSTY traded nearly 100% of the possible calls and won 100% of their trades. That should be about the best they could do for weekly income at the relatively low IV we are experiencing. They made only $44 million on all those trades with over 200 million shares. They need to be bringing in $100 million a week to be able to pay out $2 per share without shrinking the NAV. That ignores synthetic income because it is just as likely to be negative for the month as it is to be positive. Do you ever see MSTY returning to consistent $2 per share distribution? Well, the answer to that is regardless of, what they're doing, we can't tie an amount. Like, we can't say they need to be making $2, right? They don't need to be making anything. They need to be yielding around what the IV is, though. That's kind of, what they're going at. So obviously, if the price of MSTY goes down to $15 and they're yielding 50%, you ain't getting $2. So, we got to dream on past that. $2 could be something of the past. Or again, if MSTR goes nuts, it goes ape shit, the IV goes high, it flies to the moon, then yeah, of course, $2 could be back. But as of right now, the way it's been trading, we're going to be under $2 for quite some time. So I wouldn't say they need to make 100 million based on where they stand, because if you look, yeah, they did win all their trades, right? So if you go to the weekly tab again, nothing's updating. But if you look real quick, what are they annualizing so far? 50%. What's the IV at? God, this is so stupid. 53%. So they are pretty much yielding what the IV is. And that's kind of what we expect, right? In a perfect world. So if we can yield 53%, then great. Again, I'm showing that based on my data, at least, they're yielding about 50%. So that is in line with what, the expectation is. And again, if they yield that, I think we saw our payment's going to be around 83 cents. So $2, dream on, man. Unless I'm sorry, Bob Stevens, but unless the synthetic makes bank, brah, which, that's depending on the underlying, of course, then $2 is not happening. So yeah, I know it sucks. Believe me, I know. But, hopefully we can stay above $1 though. That would be ideal. But again, MSTR, it's not as volatile as it was. And it's not really moving much. It's just kind of staying chill, So for now, yeah. Do I see $2? Obviously, that depends on Bitcoin. That depends on MSTR. It depends on volatility. It depends on a lot of things. But as of right now, no, I don't see $2. I see $1 at best. But we got a lot of time. A lot of things can change by then. So sorry about my voice. I guess I'm losing it again. All right, I'm late. I woke up. Nope, not good sleep last night. Well, kind of good sleep, but not really. Baby woke up. The problem with having two kids is one kid can wake up the other kid. Oh my goodness. All right, I don't know if this other file is going to be updated. Please stay, please, please, please. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's cover TSLY first. All right, TSLY, where do they stand for the week? Let me zoom out. Why is my brightness on this dimmed? Oh, you. It's so freaking annoying. All right, sorry guys. All right, still didn't update. Hold on. Lowest. No. Now it's not updating at all. That's freaking sweet. Okay. All right, NVIDIA's not updated. CONY, lowest strike 255, 1.48% out of the money. Highest strike 275, 9.44% out of the money. SMCY, lowest strike 44, 5.9% out of the money. Highest strike 48, 15% out of the money. PLTY, lowest strike, oh yikes, 128, that's 0.22% out of the money. And highest strike 131, 2.57% out of the money. So some are updating, some are not. And again, that's just kind of the way it goes sometimes. It's Monday, nobody wants to work, especially Google Sheets. I don't want to work either, Google Sheets, but oh, did that just update? What in the actual hell? All right, Tesla's lowest strike 315, 6.73% out of the money. Highest strike is 360. Check that out, 21.98% out of the money. I mean, we saw Tesla's down in the pre-market, unfortunately, but they are well equipped to capture some upside this week. They got a lot of wiggle room. So let's bring it, man. Let's get some good news out for Tesla. All right, the value of this fund is $1 billion. The NAV, $7.99. Trade price, $8.04. Synthetic is in the negative. 30-day IV is 66%. IV estimate based on that, 41 cents. They declare in 2 days, FYI. And their income estimate is $1.53, which is a 247% yield. But they're not going to pay that. We know that. The question is, what are they going to pay? Well, I did that in my guesstimate video yesterday on the Sunday. So go check it out. Go check it out. I'll pin it, baby. I'll pin it to the comments. NVIDIA's updated now. Lowest strike, 145. That's 2.31% out of the money. So highest strike, 149, 5%. That's tight. That's tight. Yeah, there's synthetics. Well, I guess I'll just cover it how I've been. Their synthetic on paper is kicking ass. It's worth about $1.95. So yeah, good job. The value of NVIDIA, $1.5 billion. The NAV, $16.05. Trade price, $16.06. 30-day IV, 35%. IV estimate based on that, 44 cents. They declare in 9 days, not this week, but next week. Income estimate is $1.33, which is over 100% yield. So, again, NVIDIA probably, you're probably going to get another decent payment from NVIDIA. So that's good. CONY, we kind of covered the strikes, so we will just kind of scroll down. I know we rushed it. This whole video is screwed up, honestly. But, it is what it is. CONY, the value of the CONY fund is $1.1 billion. The NAV is $7.91 and the trade price $7.90. Synthetic is worth about 5 cents on the paper. 30-day IV, 50%. IV estimate based on that, 31 cents. Income estimate, only 17 cents so far. And Group C declares in 16 days. So time is on their side. Yes, it is. All right, SMCY, they definitely got time. They got 23 days till they declare again. SMCY value of the fund is 186 mil. The NAV is 1855 and the trade price 1862. Their synthetic is in the negative. 30-day IV though, 66%. IV estimate based on that, 95 cents. Income estimate is 3 cents, so blah. But again, it's super early. Group D declares, we said, on July 2nd, 23 days. Up next, your boy PLTY. We talked about their strikes. Not much wiggle room right there. Their synthetic, though, is making bank. Bank, brah. Even though it's on paper, it's bank. It's about $6.71 per share. All right. The value of the fund, though, it's about a half a bill, 528 mil. The NAV is 63.86. Trade price 64. Keep in mind, guys, this fund launched at $50, so they're whooping ass. 30-day IV, 55%. IV estimate based on that, 272. Again, the IV sucks. What can you do, man? Income estimates in the negative, but Group B declares, next week. Wow. 9 days away. They ain't got no income estimate. So that's going to be interesting. If they don't have an income, will they keep paying that $5 that I think they're going to pay? Because there is, I believe, there is some leftover. But hey. Who knows, man? Who knows? All right, so there's nothing much else to cover on here. I have the group's value tab. So when I did the guesstimates, just so you guys know, I did it based on, the ones that have the green, they actually made money. Again, part of Group A. So ORC made about $1.02 per share. SMCY made $2.23 per share. TSLY $1.53 and Zomo 3 cents per share. So again, that's pretty good stuff. But if they didn't make money, again, they're probably going to pay what the IV is. I'm just going to go real quick to the holdings. Yeah. MSTY still not work. Oh, now it does. Ay, man. Again, this is a backward-ass video, but I'm just going to skim down to the bottom. See, the value of MSTY is 4.6 bill. It may hit 5 bill. Could be this week, could be next week, which is freaking nuts. The NAV is 20.57. Trade price is kind of the same. Any of these synthetics worth a damn? Well, the 370s are worth a little, but again, let's give it time. The 390, we know where we're at there. As far as how many calls they're selling, about 99%. So pretty much all of them they're selling covered calls on. So yeah, so I'm happy it did get updated before the end of the video. IMST also updated now. I'll just look at their calls that expire this week. And again, sorry for going back and forth, but hey, it is what it is, man. June 13th, which is the Friday, you look at the top, they have a 390. It's 4.15% out of the money. And then they have one down here. They have a 385. That's 2.81% out of the money. So we'll see how that fares. But what they do, they typically sell calls with a further expiration further out of the money, which is good and bad. There's good and there's bad with that. It's a different type of strategy, again, which is awesome. We want, options. We want different options to choose from. MST, how they doing? Well, again, this is like, kind of like a half leverage, half, whatever. We're going to ignore the buy call positions. Obviously, that's to track the underlying. So if we go all the way to the bottom, you can see where their calls are at. Their lowest strike is 380. That's 1.48% out of the money. And their highest strike is a 395, 5.48% out of the money. So again, with them too, not much wiggle room, but we'll see what happens. MS2 we covered, and that's pretty much it on MSTY. So that is the update on the YieldMax funds. Again, it was kind of like a half-ass update due to the not loading issue, but hopefully you guys made it through. Hopefully you're not going to complain too much. We'll get back on track tomorrow. Hopefully, maybe Google Sheets knew I woke up late, so I didn't deserve the proper formulas updating. So all right, so now to get to my options plays for the week. For those of you new to the channel, again, I have to keep in mind there could be new people watching, and I didn't give them any justice probably on the YieldMax funds. But for the new people watching, though, if you have a question that you want me to cover in a little more detail in the video, please type in the comments video question and then type your question, and I will bring it up in the video as long as it makes sense to. Or if you have a question you can just type it on the comments if you don't want it brought up in the video. All right, sound good? Great. All right, so these are my personal options trades. Again, what I do in my account is basically I trade my own options, all right? I do own MSTY in this account, but I trade options on MSTY when I can. And then I trade options on the rest of the account. So what do I have these indexes up? These triple leverage degenerate indexes, because this is my bread and butter. This is what my future lies. When I am retired from my day job, this is how I'm going to make my income, trading the indexes, all right? But not just the index, the triple leverage indexes. And that's how that's how I plan to make my income. And I plan to have it, a certain strategy. Again, what is that strategy? Who the hell knows? I'm still learning as well. Sometimes I'm too aggressive, sometimes I'm not, but it changes. But that's why I have these like this, because I love these funds. I can't say it enough. Because again, it's the index, but it moves 3 times the index. So it's 3 times as volatile. So their volatility sits at, one's at 40, one's at 50, one's at 60. So pick your poison, man. Currently, I trade TNA because not only is it the highest volatility, but it's the lowest price. So it works out perfect for me. I have a watch list too, but again, I'm really focusing on the indexes. I'm focusing on MSTY, and I'm focusing on TSLL. But currently with MSTY, their price, obviously, what is it at? $20, $20.59. I own 500 shares of MSTY with a cost basis of $26.40. So if I were to sell calls on MSTY, I would want it to be above my cost basis, preferably. Or worst case, I would take the lowest one that got assigned, like this 23 that recently got assigned, and then I could sell a call at 23. But right now, even if I did a 23 call, the premium payout for that would just not be worth it, right? Because the upside for MSTY is actually much, to me, worth it much more to wait on that upside versus collecting, say, maybe a 20-cent or 30-cent premium over a month span. So as far as MSTY is concerned, yes, I'm trading options on it, but not right now. It's kind of more of I'm more accepting of a buy and hold position on MSTY because they pay a yield of 50 to 100%. So that's okay. So that kind of covers what I need to live, right? Because again, this is an income account that's in a taxable brokerage, and this account pays my mortgage. It has 2 jobs, right? And pay the mortgage, reinvest, hopefully half, all right? And, either way, you have to reinvest something. We have to cover the mortgage, and then we have to reinvest some. So as you can see down here, I do have some information. We're in the month of June. So if you look at MSTY, they have paid me a $735 dividend. My mortgage is $1,300. Before you think that's cheap, that's without escrow. I pay my property tax and homeowner's insurance separate. But I do have a low interest rate, below 3%, luckily. So I can't move anywhere for quite some time. So that being said, I have to look at now what is my goal for the month of June. And I go over here to my, again, this is my goal here. So if I look at June, my income goal is $2,138. All right. So if I take that number and go back to the MSTY tab, right, and I minus out the, what is it? Yeah. So I take the retire now number and I minus out the dividend. That's how much I need to make to meet that goal, 1403. And there's about 4 weeks in June. So we're going to divide that by 4. And we're going to say our weekly income goal, and we have to break it down this way to get an idea to make sure we can achieve it, is 351. All right. So for the month of June, I'm just showing you real quick how I've been doing. I only had obviously the 1 week. Last week I made 468 last week. Obviously the goal has been met for the 351, and we're good. So this week, I could use essentially some carryover from that to help with this week, and we'll see. But again, my goal this week, simple: make 351 without being a complete degenerate and losing my shirt. All right, think I could do that? Maybe. All right, so we talked about MSTY. Now let's talk about TSLL. Now with TSLL and TNA, I'm actually in completely different spots here. TSLL, I have 4 puts and 2 calls. All right, I have 4 puts because I went put crazy because I thought, all right, Tesla's not going to drop anymore. There's no way. And then the next day, I thought the same thing. And the next day, I thought the same thing. And here I am. I have a 13, an 11, a 10, and a 9. All right, TSLL is currently at 1050. All right, so, and it's dropping in the pre-market. I think it's below 10. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to sell puts. It's pretty simple. I'm going to sell puts, and I'm probably going to do it aggressively. So I may be doing 2 puts today because I'm sorry, but I just don't believe Tesla is going to be dipping for much longer. And that's just my opinion based on nothing, of course, because I know nothing. But that's how I'm trading it, and that's how I trade. And that's, hopefully things work out. So since I have a 13, an 11, a 10, and a 9, I'm probably going to do an 8, maybe a 7 if it's worth it. And we'll go from there. And then my covered calls, I have an 11 strike and a 14. So the 11 is obviously closed. The 14, I could probably close it early if I want to. Again, we'll see. I only got 12 cents, though, for that. So I might as well just let that thing ride, right? And just collect every single dime I can. I mean, the 11, if I can close that, maybe. Because, again, I got 65 cents per share on that. So we'll see how it all plays out. All right, updated some nice little font here. Total Tesla shares that are... let me scroll over. Total TSLL shares that I own is 700 at the moment. Total attached to covered calls, 200. Total uncovered, 500. So I could sell calls on 500 more shares. However, since TSLL is going down right now, at least Monday, I'm probably not going to sell any calls today because it doesn't make sense for me to do that. That's why I'm going to sell puts because it's down. All right, sound good? But if TSLL flips green today, you damn right, I'll sell a call. All right, let's look at TNA and see how we doing. This one's a little different. I got more calls than puts. I got 4 calls and I got 1 put. All right, let's look at the put. The put is a $26 strike price. It's way out of the money because TNA is at 31, so no concern there. And then for the calls, I got a 31, a 33, a 34, and a 35. TNA is at 31.92. So the 31 is in danger. We'll see what happens with the others. If TNA opens green as it is, I'm going to sell a call. My last call, because look, I own 500 shares, 400 are covered, and 100 are not. So I have 1 more contract to play around with. I'll do that today, if they stay green. What strike price? Who the hell knows? But yeah, if they become in danger, like all of these covered calls become in danger of assignment, what I'll do is I want to keep this wheel open because, again, I want to make sure I make overall profit when all's said and done with each and every wheel. I will go aggressive on the put side. And in fact, I may do that anyway, right? Because I only have 1 put open. So it's a 26. So DGen play of the week, sell a TNA put at $32. You dare me? I'll do it. I don't give a crap. I'll do a 31, 30, 30. 32 is true DGen, right? I don't know. We'll see, man. Sometimes these DGen plays, they whoop me in the ass. They kick my ass. But sometimes, you got to have a little fun, But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But Monday's typically where I make the most money, start the week off right. So we'll see how things go. All right, so we kind of know where we stand. We talked about the weekly income. Hopefully, so far for the year, I made about, $8,360. That's not going to help me retire anytime soon. But, obviously I have the dividend car account and, obviously YouTube does pay me something. I'm working on my X monetization. So if you guys have Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, feel free to go check me out if you want to support that channel, that profile, whatever the hell you call it, as well. But I do try to post on there some YieldMax stuff periodically. All right. Anyway, that's freaking update, man. That's the freaking update. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was all screwed up, but you know, again, not every video is perfect. But since I do daily videos, who gives a crap, right? We could always make it up the next day. Here we go. Breaking news: Tesla gets rare Wall Street downgrade. Oh wow. Yeah. Again, more pain for Tesla. So again, Tesla in the pre-market showing down 2.7%. It's going to be a rough one. I think by the end of the week, they'll probably flip green. But again, that's based on nothing, because I have to remind you, as always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, and this video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, just come back tomorrow and we'll try again. All right? Sound good? Great. If you have any questions or concerns, leave them in the comments below. If you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. And again, I apologize for the whole freaking spreadsheet thing, because everything got out of order. This video got all screwed up. But you're still here, and I appreciate that. So what do we do now? Well, we talk about the keyword. So, well, no. See, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. See, Google Sheets has messed me up the whole video. But if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you gotta say the freaking keyword. The keyword today is Google Sheets. Yay, Google Sheets. You know, I could say something mean, Google Sheets something, but I won't, because I appreciate Google Sheets still, because they are a free application. You know, you try to get Excel and, you know, forget about it, right? Freaking forget about it, because what does it cost? I don't even know. What does Microsoft Office cost? You can freaking forget it, you know? Google Sheets, free. Frizzle, right? So, that being said, if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, the keyword today is Google Sheets, because Google Sheets is really what made this channel happen. So they also screwed up today's video, but whatever. It's a love-hate relationship, right? But yeah, so if you're new to the channel, like I said, you just gotta type that keyword in the comments down below, and then I know and others know you actually made it through this video, this screwed up video. This was very screwed up, actually. But I'll be back tomorrow morning. Hopefully get my alarm on time. Today starts a 3-day juice cleanse, so that should be fun. I do this about every 3 to 4 months. I do a 3-day juice cleanse, and I like it. Well, I say I like it till like the second and third day, and I'm like, ugh. But no, it's good. I think it's good for you. Plus, it helps me lose some pounds, usually 5 to 10 pounds at a pop. And I could definitely use that since summer's incoming, and I got to get my ass moving anyway. So, yeah, I think that's the end of the video for now. So like I said, thank you very much for watching, and I hope everyone has a great week, great Monday, great whatever. Whenever you're watching this, have a great day, all right? Thank you, everyone. Peace.